Hey, hey, hey. Good afternoon. Come on in. Come on in. Glad to have you guys here joining us today. Let me put my earpieces on. All right. There we go. All right. Hey, hey, hey. Come on in. Come on in. Let me turn on my headphones. All right. There we go. Hey, hey, hey. Come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. Welcome, welcome. This is your time. So come on in. Glad to have you join us this afternoon. We're going to be talking about government contracting. So come on in, come on in. Let's chat a little bit. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. And I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Can you hear me? Hey, 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 come on in, come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from. I just finished up I hope you guys can hear me. So that's my question. I just finished up a afternoon of calls with some of my VIP clients inside of the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. And one of the things I was sharing with them is I always tell you guys when I do a live like this to come on in, introduce yourself, tell us who you are and where you're joining from and what you offer to the government. And I do that because connections are made in the chat. Yeah, so definitely come on in and let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and let me know, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? So can you let me know? Julie is from Dallas, Texas. Hey, hey, hey. We have Slim, somebody from Atlanta. So keep in mind, if you don't have your name, your exact name, that if people are trying to connect with you, they won't know who you are. So definitely come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from, what you offer to the government. Okay, because that's very, very important. I did a live this afternoon at 12:30, and someone was looking for someone that did janitorial services. So they were connecting in the chat. So it's always important when I do my lives, at least I do like to leave that open. But I always say, come in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer to the government. Because you never know what opportunity someone else have. You never know what they're looking for. So that basic information will definitely help them in deciding if they want to connect with you. Okay, beyond just this chat here. So definitely always come in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, what do you offer to the government, okay? So if this is your first time here, and most of you, I don't remember you. Hey, Gregory from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Awesome, awesome. So I don't know any of you guys personally. I don't think this is probably your first time here. I usually remember people's name out of all the people that come to my lives. I don't know why, but I don't want to take for granted that you guys do know who I am. So I'm going to introduce myself while you're introducing yourself to us over in the chat. So my name is Felicia Streeter over at FeliciaStreeter.com, where I help small businesses prepare and win contracts with the federal government. We have a big focus on getting your first bid done. And not only that, one of my students in my Contractors Edge Bootcamp during our call today reported that she had been awarded a contract for $48,500. $48,500. Yes, she's very happy. Okay, so that's awesome. So come on in, come on in. Let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and we're going to dive right in. This is all about you guys today. I've been getting a lot of questions via email, and I thought it would be great to actually open up this time for you guys to come and ask me questions. Let me see if I can find some of the questions that I was getting. But what I want you guys to do is definitely go ahead, and if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. So we're here because I've been getting a lot of questions about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. If you don't know, that is my program where I teach you how to get your first bid done fast, period. Okay. And so if you have any questions about the bootcamp, this is a great time to get those questions answered. I did try to answer as many as I could via email, replying to people's email, but it is a lot. And so I thought this would be a easier way to do that and make sure no one is left out. So if you have any questions about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, go ahead and jot them in the chat, pop them in there. I know a lot of people, have questions on what type of services or product the government buys. So we can definitely talk about that if that's a question that you have, or maybe you're wondering how long will it take you to get your bid or proposal process set up. Some of the other questions I get, people want to know, do they need a certain amount of money to actually bid contracts? Like, what is it going to cost them? Some other questions I get is about being a government contractor and still working your 9-to-5 job, or if you're currently working in the private sector, and just how all that works together. So let me know what your questions are. And I'm just sharing these with you because those are common questions that I get. Sometimes it's people, the back office paperwork is what hang them up. They're fine when they're out on the project and, doing that type of work. They got that down pat. They can do it with their eyes closed. But a lot of times it's the back office that prevents the success in the front office. So any questions you have about the Contractors Edge Bootcamp and how it can help you overcome those hurdles that you have with becoming a government contractor, or learning how to bid contracts, find contracts to bid, whatever it is, any questions you have, like, how can the Contractors Edge Bootcamp support you? Whatever that looks like, let me know over in the comments. So go ahead. If you're just joining us, welcome. Again, I'm Felicia. And definitely let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer to the government. Okay? Because everyone else is looking at this too. And trust me, I get a lot of replay viewers and they're looking at this as well. So you never know who is looking at what you do and looking for what you actually do, and, have connections and opportunities and partnering relationships. A lot of things go on in the chat. So always come in, let us know who you are, where you're joining from, and what you offer to the government. Don't be shy. Come on in and introduce yourself. All right, so let's say hello to who we have here. We have Slim. We have, maybe they put their name in. Yesin, if I'm saying that right. I hope I am. If not, I apologize. We have Julius from Dallas, Texas. You're down the street from me. All right. We have Gregory from Orangeburg, South Carolina. We have Rainier from Brazil. Wow. Welcome. I wonder what time is it over there. Let's see. Anisha. All right. From Texas. What part of Texas? We have 2 people from Texas here. Welcome. And then we have Julie here as well. Welcome. We have Nancy from Texas. Wow. Is everybody from Texas today? How cool is that? Texas in the house. All right. Okay, great. So let's go ahead. This is all about you. I told you guys this is about you. I'm not really here to teach you anything this afternoon. I'm here to answer your questions. Any questions you have about the boot camp, government contracting as it relates to the boot camp. How can it help you? How can it serve you? I'm here to answer your questions. All right. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the boot camp, just so you know, maybe it'll spark a question for you, while others that have a question, they're typing it in. But the Contractors Edge Bootcamp is a training program where you get training modules. Most of those are via video. We do have some other trainings within the bootcamp curriculum itself, and some of those are audio as well. But the focus of the bootcamp is to get your first bid done. And I don't mean a bid where you just submit a number, because sometimes they just want a number. I'm talking about going through the entire process so you know how to do this, whether or not they're just asking for a number. So I'm talking about so that you can find opportunities. I want you to be proactive, always looking for opportunities, finding opportunities, so that you can learn how to put together your bid process, okay? So that you can learn how to find a solicitation, take the solicitation, break it down, pull out the requirements, and then in turn, take those requirements and write your proposal. All of that is happening inside the Contractors Edge Bootcamp. those are the key points of the bootcamp. Of course, there's other things in there that you're going to learn as well, but those are the key points. We also have a training on create your best deal. And I had one of the students doing the VIP session pointed them there because they're going out to a walkthrough on an opportunity tomorrow. And I helped them create a strategy of what they're going to look for. And then afterwards, how they're going to follow up and negotiate. So great things are happening in the boot camp. We also have a training in their government contracting roadmap. For those of you that if you're just getting started, you still need to lay that solid foundation. Maybe you need to get your SAM registration done. Maybe you haven't applied for all your certifications. Maybe you need to learn how to start generating some leads. Government contracting roadmap, start there. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to jump over here and see what questions we have. Go ahead and if you haven't popped in your question, go ahead and pop it in. No question is a dumb question. The only dumb question is the one that you didn't ask. So if you have a question, go ahead and ask. Don't be shy. All right. So I'm just going to kind of read through here and go through these accordingly. Let's see. So Gregory is, oh, he has pressure, soft washing, janitorial services. Really? I think you said you're in Dallas, didn't you? Where did you say you were at? Oh, South Carolina. Okay. One of my clients does the same thing, and she's in Florida. That's the one that just won a $48,500 contract. I was trying to see if you guys were close by. Okay. So this is Gregory, first time in the chat. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. So glad to have you. Slim says, 8A SAM application is still pending process. Well, congratulations that you got it submitted. So yeah, so Slim, I don't know if you have a question around that, but basically you'll be waiting for them to finish your process application. Once it's processed, they'll send you an email. You'll get your cage code. Next thing is those certifications. Okay. Slim says my business is in building automation. All right, cool. Let me see. Okay, so Gregory is interested in the boot camp information. So Gregory, definitely let me know if you have any specific questions about the boot camp. And I'm just going to put the link down here. You guys can definitely check it out right now. If you can minimize your screen, of course. So don't leave if you have questions. All right, so there's the link. The link to the boot camp, all of the information is there for you, is first bid done fast. Okay, first bid done fast. So I just put that in there for you, Gregory. All right, Anisha is audacious. Audacious. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm thinking your name is Audacious from Texas. All right, welcome, welcome. We have Julie. I like your last name, Julie Dream. So Julie says, do we have to fund our projects up front, then invoice the government to receive a payment? In most cases, every opportunity is different. Within the solicitation, they'll kind of lay out how payments will be made and all that great stuff. Did you tell me what you did? Let me see. Okay, so I don't know what you do yet. So it depends. Sometimes I've seen rare occasions where clients have gotten paid on the forefront of an opportunity before actually doing the work. Again, I don't know your industry, but in construction, sometimes what'll happen is once we mobilize, we can get paid our mobilization costs. So it is not long. We have to front the money, and it's not a lot. Okay, if that makes sense. And so, again, it just depends on the opportunity and what you're doing. Payments can be made a one-time payment, or it could be monthly, again, depending on what you're doing, how long it's going to take you to do it. I have a client right now that's bidding a 5-year contract. So, of course, we know that's going to be some monthly billing involved in that. Monthly billing, monthly payments. I have another client that's bidding they just won a 5-month contract. And so they'll bill or invoice monthly, and they'll get paid monthly over the 5-month period. Okay. All right. So let's see. It scrolled. Hold on. Let me find where I'm at. Okay. All right. Okay. So Julie has a medical supply company and wants a PPE contract. Awesome. Excuse me. PPE, who knows what you can negotiate on that right now. It's really a hot item and anything's possible. So you could get paid up front. It's possible. Okay, so somebody, blessings, live in Dallas, Texas. I mean, Dallas like is up in the house today. All right, I'm feeling it. Cool. I probably run into you guys and don't even know it. You probably don't even know it's me, right? I'm not that known. Yeah, but we're all right here in the same little area. So we have Bree from New York City. Welcome, welcome. So Nancy, question is there government contracts to export goods to island countries? I don't know. And I'm assuming these island countries have U.S. citizens, probably. So if so, possibly, you know, I mean, I don't know the whole details, you know, it could be more to what you're asking. But I would say, you know, you just have to do the search and see what you can find. What made you decide to want to export to island countries? What do you want to export over there? All right, so Dotson Cleanup and More LLC offer janitorial service and COVID-19 cleaning for government contracts. That is so cool. You need to get some boots to the ground and go find you some opportunities. You're doing COVID-19 cleaning? Yeah, boots to the ground, boots to the ground. I'm sure you can find something. Nancy says, can I get a contract? Wait a minute. Can I get a contract even if it is a new business? Yes, it depends. And then what do you mean by new, right? My client that I was just sharing with you earlier, let me see, she's been in business 6 months and she just won her first contract. Not to say it's going to take you that long. Everybody's different. But here's one of the things I like to do, Nancy, with my clients is we like, and it depends on you and what you want. I always want to know what your goals are, right? But depending on what you want, you know, what is your fastest path to cash, if that's what you're looking for? A lot of people want a cash flow. So if you want a cash flow, then we look at things accordingly and see what's the best fit for you. So, you know, what did you say you were doing? Government contracts to, okay, you want to explode, okay, to the island. So it sounds like you want to do strictly government contracting, and more than likely that's federal government contracting. So depending on what it is you're going to send them, you could get a contract as a newbie and maybe not. So there's some variables there. And then you guys can see a lot of times it's not a clear-cut answer, if that makes sense, because there's a lot of variables, especially depending on what you're asking. The broader the question, the broader the variation. So Bree says, is applying with Ostabu a good place to start when starting to reach out to agencies? Yeah, why not? I mean, they're not all created equal, but some of them can be a great resource. Yes. I mean, and it costs you nothing, right? Why not? And they usually hold events and other things. So, you know, there's a strategy to it for sure. So definitely sign up with them. Yeah, just takes you filling out the application. Anissa, when does your boot camp begin? How long is it? Okay, I didn't tell you that, huh? So the boot camp, you start immediately when you sign up. So for example, you go sign up today, you'll put in your information. Once you put in your information, it's going to bring up the page for you to create your password. You create your password, and then you'll have access to the training module. So you start when you sign up, okay? Now, we do have live sessions that we do similar to this, except for I can see your face, you can see mine, and we can talk verbally back and forth, and everybody can hear us. And we have 4 live sessions over a 4-week period. And the objective is to get your first bid done. So we're focusing on getting your first bid done. That's what we do over the 4 weeks. Now, when does the 4 weeks start? Session number 1 is next week, July the 15th. So you get immediate access. You can start right away. So if you sign up today, you can start today if you want to. And you have lifetime access to the training materials. Okay. And then you also get to come to the 4 live sessions as well. And they start July the 15th. Okay. All right. Let me see. I got to go find my place. Okay. There you go. Okay. So I think I answered that. I'm not sure who this one is because they have some letters here. Okay. But anyway, your question is, do you advise startup businesses to enroll on a GSA schedule? So getting on a GSA schedule is an extensive process. Depending on what you're offering, you want to make sure it's on the GSA schedule. And I don't know how much you know about the GSA schedule. So I'm going to say consider those things too in determining if that's a great place for you. Because on a GSA schedule, your price is locked in. So you need to be clear that your numbers are good and not just for a day or two, but for that duration. So with that being said, it depends on you. And so, those are some questions, like a series of questions I would ask you. I wouldn't personally myself jump straight to a GSA schedule because, and I wouldn't have, because I knew about the GSA schedule too when I started, but I would not have joined or got on the schedule at that point. And even when I looked into it, I couldn't guarantee that my numbers would hold true like that. So for me, it just turned out not to be a good fit. Not to say it's not a good fit for you, but I'm just telling you some of the things I considered, and you have to consider those things too. Okay, Bree, I specialize in web design and motion graphics. Well, that is cool. Awesome. Let's see. Blessings. Question is, how long does it normally take for a government contract to be awarded? I'm in IT services. It's not about how long theoretically it takes for an opportunity to be awarded, because, for example, the client that just got the 48.5 contract. The process of bidding it, the submission and all that wasn't long. It was supposed to be, well, they told her the contract was awarded to her. It took about a week or so. And they were going to send over the contract, the paperwork, I think Friday or something like that. The guy went on vacation. She didn't get the contract. So it's coming this week. So I say that to say there's no set answer on how long it takes. Usually, if there's a pre-bid meeting, a walkthrough or anything like that, that's a great question to ask them, because then they can kind of tell you where they're at with that on an individual basis, number one. And then from there, you give them that time. And then after that, you can always reach out and see what's going on with the opportunity, if they've awarded it yet. If not, when do they think they're going to award it, that kind of thing. The other thing we have to be mindful of right now is, although they might say, yes, we plan to have this contract awarded by Friday, and then the person that's doing it, God forbid, catches COVID or something. So now they have to get somebody else to do it. So you see what I'm saying? And that's the extreme. But even if somebody, if we didn't have this and somebody was sick, then they got to get somebody else in to and that might take a couple of days, a week or whatever, because they may have other things they're doing. So there's no set answer on how long it would take from them to award the contract once you've bid the opportunity. Okay. So we have E. Allen here. Hey. You sent me a very long email. And so if you had a question, definitely pop it in. I can answer that for you. Julie, medical supply and PPE. All right, cool. I think that's Ernest Allen. So Ernest says, oh, glad I caught you on the live webinar. Well, glad to have you. Sherry's here. Hey, Sherry. How are you? I am just fabulous today. How are you? Thank you for joining us. All right, let's see. Gregory says, what certification I need first that matters? I don't know. I don't know what certifications you qualify for. So here's what I always tell my clients, Gregory. Apply for all the certifications for which you qualify. What I mean by that is any of them you qualify for, apply for them. And here's why. Think of it like this. If you see an opportunity to come out, if you know anything about the set-asides, and they, have an opportunity come out, and then you're like, Okay, that was set aside for a minority business. I didn't get that certification, but I know I'm a minority business. But because I don't have that certification, I can't be at that opportunity. So we don't want that to happen. So I always say apply for all the certifications for which you qualify. Now, with that being said, which certifications should all of you guys look at in general if you just don't know? And because I don't know enough about you to like guide you, you want to definitely look at your woman-owned small business certification if it's woman-owned. You want to look at your minority business enterprise certification, your minority woman business enterprise certification, if it's woman-owned. So you have your MWBE for the women. For the men, you have your MBE. So that's your minority certification. You also have your disadvantaged business enterprise certification. You can apply for that as well if you qualify. A lot of states have their state hub certification. You can apply for that. That holds true and works a lot with the school systems and different things that are owned by the state. You can also do the federal hub zone certification if you qualify for that. Am I leaving anything out? Let me think. I think that's it. Of course, you know, there's an 8A certification, but if you knew about the 8A certification, you would have the other certification. So I'm not going to get into the 8A certification, but that's another certification as well. And then you have your small business certification as well. So you can apply for that. Yeah, I think those are the major ones. Oh, and if you're a service disabled vet, you can apply for that certification as well. So a service disabled veteran owned small business, you can apply for that certification as well. If you're you've been rated servicely disconnected. And when I say service disabled vet, if you're one, you know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, let's see. Okay, so Nancy, you want to produce or ship over produce and food or food goods to the islands, but it's still, they would have to fall under the U.S., right? For it to be something that the government would do, I would think. So it's possible. I mean, if it's part of the U.S. and we're trying to feed our people over there, it's very well possible. I would say do a search and see if those opportunities are out there for you. Okay. Slim says, any information on startup funding? Startup funding for what? Let me know. Most people don't give you funding to start your business unless you're looking into a venture capital company or crowdfunding or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what you said you were going to. I don't know if you told me what you do, but depending on what it is, a lot of times we may think we need startup capital and we really don't. It does not cost that much to get started. Okay. Ernest says, does the government buy galvanized steel or should just focus on private industry? I don't know. I mean, Ernest, your question gets the same answer as Nancy. You'd have to look that up and see, you know, do your due diligence and do the search. Here's the thing. The government buys a whole lot of stuff. And so I'm just going to be transparent here and tell you, I couldn't possibly know down to the item everything they contract out. But if you do the research and look, you can find out the answer for yourself. Okay. Because I don't want to say yes and they don't. And so I always, you know, I mean, there's common things we know, general things, but I can't, you know, galvanized steel is no different to me than saying, do they buy and I'm making this up, a 1/4 inch screw bit? I don't know. I don't even know what that is. I just made that up. But so maybe it makes sense. Maybe it does not. So I don't know. But I would say do the research and you would have to see if that's something they purchase. Now, they build stuff all the time, so it's possible. But again, if you want a definite answer, then do the research and look and see. Anissa, as a new startup company applying for government contracts, or is that construction? I don't know. You abbreviated. So I'm guess it's applying for government contracts. Is it more advantageous to work with a subcontractor? So it depends on the opportunity. That's where we look at your approach. I just got off of one of my client calls, and that's one of the things I helped her with was the approach. We talked about the approach, but then we also talked about a variety of scenarios and then what the approach could be based on that particular scenario. And so, yeah, if you're just getting started, you could definitely start out as a subcontractor. But my client that just won a contract here recently, this is her first government contract and she's new. So it depends on what it is, right? It depends on how much it is and things like that, and your experience. So, I mean, there's some variables to, help decide if they would go with somebody that's new versus someone that's seasoned. And then when you say new, do you mean new to government contracting or new you just started your business? So it depends, but it's possible. And if you're not comfortable sitting in the prime position, then definitely you could start out as a subcontractor. I started out as a subcontractor as well because I needed to learn the ropes, and it's a lot of paperwork. And I needed to learn the ropes. So I was learning on somebody else's dime. All right. Any other questions? Do you have any other questions? I just went through the ones that I have. You guys have any other questions? Any questions about the boot camp? I think I covered all the general questions of the boot camp. I'll put the link in here again. I think we have, it's either 3 or 4 spots left. I can't remember, and I haven't looked at all today because I've been on client calls and I did a YouTube live, and then I learned myself. So I had a call with my coach as well. So I haven't looked at the numbers for today at all. But there is a few spots left. Usually the boot camp always fill up and we have to close the doors. And then you probably won't be able to get in for a live session until maybe the fall, end of summer, early fall. And we don't even have a date on the calendar yet. So if you want, you can definitely still get the course anytime. Okay. But if you want my help, you want to jumpstart things over the next 4 weeks, then you want to make sure you get in ASAP. Okay, I think we might have another question. Danielle, hey. You are new here, aren't you? Welcome. Okay, so Danielle says, hey, Felicia. I'm so happy I caught you. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. It keeps scrolling. I am often in the DMV, so Chicago. And my son is in the field and I wanted to learn more. You provide great information. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I thought she had a question. Okay, you're welcome. And do you mean in the field, in the military? If so, well, thank you for your service. I believe the whole family served because without the family back home, the soldiers wouldn't make it either. It's a team effort. So Gregory says, how do you apply to be a subcontractor? So that's a very long story. Here's the short of it, because it's not necessarily that you apply to be a subcontractor. When you sit in the subcontractor position, you will go up under a prime. So you're going to find a prime that have the opportunity, and you're going to sub the work from them, and they're going to sub the work to you, right? And so that's just finding companies that have work and they're looking to sub it out. Some of them may have where you have to, sign up as a vendor, and some don't. So they're all different. So Ernest says, I want to get as many certifications as possible. A friend is a vet. I'm considering bringing him on. What percentage of ownership would he have to own to get the veteran certification? Not sure if that is a great idea for you. I do believe you've been in business for a while, if I'm correct. So, you have to look at that and see what makes sense. So with that being said, I'm gonna answer the question. I'm always looking out for my clients, and, in general, when you're trying to make moves like that, and, does it really make sense? And it could, I don't know, that would definitely be a conversation we need to have. But if all things being equal, you say, okay, yep, this would be a great thing to do. Whoever holds a particular certification, or if they're going to apply for it, they need to have 51% ownership in the business. So right there, I just told you, you have to give up controlling interest of your company. And I'm not sure why would you want to do that. There's other ways you could structure the deal. Yeah, there's other ways you could do that without giving up so much of your business. Julie asks, yes, can you provide us with actual proposal that have won bids to review? It is one inside the bootcamp, Julie. So inside the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, I actually share with you guys, there's a lot of templates in there, actually. There's a bid spreadsheet with formulas and everything in there for you. There's a checklist to make sure you don't leave anything out of your bid. I also share with you my proposal, like the real deal proposal that I use to win multi-million-dollar contracts. So you have that to take and tweak and make it your own. So yes, I do provide that in the bootcamp. To get somebody to write a proposal for you is very, very expensive. And that alone is more than worth the investment into the bootcamp. More than worth the investment, because people charge thousands of dollars just for them to, write your proposal, or even, because basically that's what you're doing. You're copying mine. And so they charge thousands of dollars, and the bootcamp is $997. Well, I'm sorry, $997. Okay. Right now there's a $1,000 savings. Okay. It's normally $1,997. That ends July 15th. It's going bye-bye. And so you'll, moving forward, have to make the full investment of $1,997. Okay. But if you get in before then, you can save yourself $1,000. Nothing wrong with that, right? Okay. Oh, okay. Danielle says her son has his own contracting firm. That is cool. Dustin, hey. I think you sent me an email. Did you? I can't remember. Did you sign up for the boot camp? I don't remember. You sent me an email. I remember that. Okay. Dustin says, is it the most important game plan to reach out? Okay. I think it's supposed to say reach out to the liaison when starting up. If so, what do you typically say? Liaison for what? Right? So let me know. Okay, so you did reach out to me. Okay, awesome. So in particular, who? Because depending on who it is as to what you'll say. What do they have? The contract holder. So are you talking about the prime contractor? Or are you talking about the agency that is putting the contract out for bid? Let me know. Any final questions? The agency. Okay. So Dustin's question is it the most important game plan to reach out to the liaison at the agency, at the government agency when starting up? If so, what do you say? So why do you want to reach out to them, Dustin, is my question. Why are you reaching out to them? I can tell you a lot of things to say depending on why you're reaching out to them, but why are you reaching out? So for example, and you tell me why you're reaching out, and then I'm giving you an example in the meantime. So one of the things I believe in is being proactive. I say that all the time. Be proactive, be proactive, be proactive, right? And so I want you to be proactive. But I forgot something. Let me tell you guys real quick. So I see a lot of you guys on here, and I really appreciate you being here. I know some of you guys are hiding out. They never ask a question. They don't even say who they are, where they're joining from. That's cool. As long as you're getting the information and it's helping you, awesome. Great deal. But what I want to encourage you guys to do is go ahead and like the video for me. All right. Like the video. It lets YouTube know that this content is good and they will share it out. You don't know how much this helped other people. In addition to that, like when you come in here and you say who you are, where you're joining from, and what you do, other people see it. And so when they're looking to connect with somebody, maybe they have an opportunity. Like one lady I was talking to today on a call, one of my client calls, She's looking at a opportunity in a different state. And so she wants to find a subcontractor in that state. And so how cool is it if you are on here and you tell her who you are, where you're at, and what you do, and you're in that place? Guess what? She's going to reach out to you. So you never know who's watching. You never know who comes back and watch the replay. So think of this as networking too, where you come in, you introduce yourself, you tell people who you are, and you have to tell them where you're joining from because we're virtual, and what you do. Don't be shy about that. Even if you don't ask a question, come in and introduce yourself. Because if you're looking to get into government contracting, well, guess what? You're going to have to learn to introduce yourself. So why not start here? Okay, back to Dustin's question. So what do you say? So maybe you say something like you're reaching out because you just want to let them know who you are and what you do, which once you know who's your customer, it's a great thing to do. But you need to know who's your customer first, right? But so if you've already figured all that out, you know who the person is, you know, and that's the person you need to be talking to. Really, you're just going to do a brief introduction. What I have my clients do is do a series of things over a course of time to introduce your company to these people. So initially, you know, whatever the reason you're reaching out, I don't know if it's a cold reach out. Did you meet them at a networking event, at an industry day event? You know, how did you get their information? I don't know. Let's say you met them at a conference and you're following up. And so you could, you know, reach out and just say, hey, so-and-so, you know, great meeting you at the XYZ event. Thank you for taking a couple of minutes to allow me to introduce myself and for sharing, you know, what you guys have coming down the pipeline. Again, it depends on what the conversation was as to what you're going to say. And then, you know, you just let them know that, you know, hey, I just wanted to also remind you that I do XYZ, you know, would love to work with you guys on a future project. I also have, you know, my certifications, XYZ. You're going to list those. Look forward to working together in the near future. You don't have to ask them for anything at that point. And you can leave it at that. A paragraph, real short. They're very busy, let me tell you. So don't send them a full page email because they're not going to read it. So be mindful of that. People in government contracting are busy. Busy. Keep it short and to the point. Okay. Another time, maybe you're reaching out and you've already connected with them. And so now you're reaching out and say, hey, you know, just wanted to, you know, reach out and thank you again for taking that time to share X, Y, and Z with me. I actually followed up on that and I learned a lot. And, you know, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to share my capability statement with you so that you can learn, you know, a little bit more about how I can support the agency. And then you could, you know, provide your capability statement. Maybe they told you to follow up with them. They have a future opportunity coming up down the road. So then you're reaching out and say, hey, you know, it was great connecting with you at the chamber meeting last week. Hopefully it's not a week later. Yesterday or, you know, a couple of days ago, you mentioned that you had an opportunity coming up, and I just wanted to follow up and make sure that I'm on the notification list for that, to make sure I'm included when it comes out. So please add me to your email list, because they have an email list where they blast stuff out as well. So, I mean, there's so many different things you can say. It depends on what you want, right? And how you met them and how you're following up or how you're reaching out. But definitely keep it short and sweet and to the point. And so don't give them everything right at one time. I'm saying give them a sprinkle. Let them read that, digest that, you know, then a little bit later, another sprinkle. So real short, sweet, to the point. Julie says, if only 3 slots left, will you work one-on-one with those who missed the 3 slots? I do take on private one-on-one clients, Julie. The investment to work with me privately one-on-one starts at $7,500, but I do work with clients one-on-one. But remember, Julie, after the slots are gone, you can still sign up for the next live session, but you'll still get started with the training material right away. So don't worry about that. But long as the link works, you're good to go. So you can sign up, okay? Dustin's funny. He said, because I don't know any better. Well, you know, we only know what we know, right? And so I always say, when we know better, we do better, but you just have to learn. So it's not that you don't know any better. It's just that you don't know everything about government contracting yet. And that's okay. That's why you're here, right? So yeah, don't beat yourself up about it. Because here's the thing. You asked the question. I'm going to be honest with you guys and transparent. In the beginning, I did not know what questions to ask. I really didn't. So, you know, like some things, how can I ask the question and I don't even know what to ask it about? So one of the things I like to pride myself on with my students is I always say, I give you answers to the questions you don't even know to ask. Because I've been down the road before you. So I already know. I know what you need to know, whether you ask it or not. I still know what you need to know. And so I just give it all to you. Okay. So you're good. So Danielle says, be proactive, have a plan, and do your research. Yes. All right. Ernest says, I am having conversations with several grading companies to do any work awarded to my business. Is this best route to take to connect with potential subcontractors? Are you trying to connect? Are those people subcontracting companies? I mean, because if it is, yeah, definitely have conversations. You should always be building your pipeline. So if your business is that you're going to sub out work, then you should always have a database of people to sub the work out to. So yes, you're on the right path there. Carlos, hey, welcome. I don't recall you joining us before, but welcome to the community. So Carlos says, as a new transportation company, how much do you think the demand is for trucks? How do you compete? I think that's compete as a new company. So let's break the question down. So the first question is, how much do you think the demand is for trucks? Really? I don't know. How much of a demand do you think it is, Carlos? Have you been watching the news since March? Have you been watching your local news, the federal government, when your president come on, that kind of thing? Listen to what they're saying. Let me tell you guys something. You're in government contracting, right? So when your government people come on TV, you should be listening. They're telling us what they need right now. So you need to listen. You know, it's cute and, you know, you watch the news for the sports and all that stuff. Pay attention when the people get on there because they're telling you what they need. So anyway, to answer your question, yes. They use trucks for everything. You have to move stuff. Yes. And then your second question is, how do you compete as a new company? Well, you got to learn how to bid, right, Carlos? You got to know how to bid. And then it may not be so much competing, but partnering. So, you know, just change your outlook on that and find companies that you can partner with and get in and start getting some opportunities. Because, you know, a lot of it is too, once you build a good relationship, you do good work, you'll be fine. They just need to see that you can do that. Okay. Oh, I remember Dustin Warrior 6 project. I remember that. Okay. Yeah. So Julie says, what advice did you feel was most important to the client who won her first contract? So that part, I don't know. I think that would be a question for her to answer because, you know, I think that would be more from her perspective to answer that, really. And then you say, what do you think made her company stand out? Again, I don't know because I don't know who else bidded on the opportunity and what their companies looked like. Now, we're in the process of figuring that out, but I don't have an answer yet. And I have some theories, but I'm not going to throw them out there because I just don't know yet. I don't have enough information to speculate on that because it could be anything right now. And it could be possible, but I still could be wrong. So Gregory says, to apply for most of the certifications, do the process start with the Small Business Administration to apply certifications? So Gregory, great question. So here's the thing. Some certifications are federal certifications. Some are your state and local certifications. Federal, yes, you can go to the SBA website, apply for those. If it's at your state, your state, local, county, then it's through your state. So for example, Gregory, your woman-owned certification, small business, you can do those through the federal government. Then you also have your minority certifications, disadvantage certifications, and your state small business and your state hub certifications, all through your state. And then I forgot to say your federal hub zone is through the SBA as well. And then your service disabled vet is through the VA. So yeah. And inside the Contractors Edge Bootcamp, under Government Contracting Roadmap, Module 3 and 4 covers certifications and tell you where you can apply and what agencies certify you for that particular type of certification and what agencies take those particular certifications. So it's a great resource. All right, Dan Morgan's in the house. Hey, says, I finally caught a live. Well, great. He finally caught a live chat. Glad to have you. I'm applying for all certs, service disabled vet, DBE, MBE, but outside of the Fed Biz Ops, where do I look for contracts? With that being said, which will have more set aside opportunities. So you got to do your research, right? And I like to be more proactive. I don't remember who that was saying, what would I say to the liaison when I reach out? But that's one thing you want to know. So see, you have to set the foundation. You need to know who's your customer, right? Once you know who's your customer, now we can be proactive in our approach on how we're going to find opportunities. So Dan says Fed Biz Ops, but of course now it's beta.sam.gov. They changed it over, but I got you. But for those of you that never heard of Fed Biz Ops because you just joined, he's talking about sambeta.gov. So you can definitely use that site. There's a whole lot you can do to the or with the beta.sam.gov website that I'm doing actually an updated training for the bootcamp people because they just switched over to the beta website. And I was trying to wait before I did the video because it's still under beta. It's been, well over 6 months and it's still in beta. And I didn't want to do the video. And then when I did it, they had switched things again. They still haven't. So we're just going to do a training based on what it is today. And whatever holds true for a little bit holds true, right? But definitely you can use the beta site, but you can find a lot of jewels in that beta site that you probably don't think about. But that's one resource for sure. Definitely reaching out to the agencies, reaching out to prime contractors. It depends. See, the other thing is I can give you a laundry list of things that you can do, but I like to be more strategic in what we do. And so it's all about your approach. What approach are you taking to government contracting? What's your approach? What opportunities are you looking for? Do you want to be a sub or a prime? Do you want to stay in the federal government? Do you want to do state, local government? Or are you looking to do private sector, corporate? Where are you looking right now? And then that kind of entails what actions to take, because it's a little bit different based on where your focus is, but definitely reaching out to the decision makers, right? At the agencies, at the companies that are prime contractors, if you're doing corporate, then, those corporate buyers. And another thing you guys may not realize, a lot of your corporations have diversity programs. So if you're looking at corporate, definitely talk to someone in their diversity department. If you're looking at other companies that do work with the government and they are large companies, they have diversity programs as well. So you want to talk to those people. So there's a variety of ways to reach out. Networking events are really, really great. And let me just tell you guys, I know we're not out networking in person, but a lot of the agencies are hosting virtual networking events and conferences and all that kind of stuff. So there's ways to do it. Okay. Faithfield 18. Hey. I remember that from a long time ago. Welcome back. And you say, hey, Felicia, I think you said my apartment number. My apartment address is listed on my DUNS as my company address. When I sign up for SAMS, do my company address need to match what's on my DUNS? I no longer want to use my home address. So the first part is yes, DUNS and SAM must match up. If not, it's going to get kicked back. And theoretically, your IRS must match up to the DUNS, and then your DUNS and IRS must match up to the SAM registration. So everything has to match up. If you're going to change your address, then you need to go back to the drawing board, meaning the beginning of the process, and change it everywhere. So yes, it does need to match up. Contempt is here. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, so this is going to be our last question here. Ernest says, when looking for companies to do subcontracting work, does the company have to have experience as a subcontractor to perform as a subcontractor on government jobs? So I'm going to say, because of how you worded this, that they don't have to have experience as a subcontractor per se, if that's what you mean. I think whatever work that they do or that you're going to sub out to them, they need to have experience doing that type of work, if that makes sense. Not that they necessarily need to have experience being a sub, because they could have sat in a prime position, right? So yeah, does that make sense? I hope so. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I definitely thank you guys for joining me. If this is your first time, definitely subscribe to the channel and definitely hit the notification bell. And here's why. So when I go live, you'll get notified that I'm live. When I drop new videos, you'll get notification of that as well. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell, because if you didn't know, I went live earlier today at 12:30 Central Standard Time. So I did a live this afternoon where it was a live training. We talked about forecasting. That's another way to find some contracting opportunities. So I didn't even think to say that one. So if you missed the video training from earlier today, definitely check that one out as well, because that's a jewel of a way to find opportunities. And that's a way to be proactive in finding opportunities. So definitely check that out. If you like what I put down here today, you like coming joining us, definitely don't forget to like the video as well. I appreciate all of the likes. Thank you for that. That tells me to keep coming back here and teaching and, sharing and spending time with you guys. So definitely don't forget to like the video if you have not done that. You're welcome, Julie. You're welcome, Ernest. You guys are so welcome. I really enjoy doing this and answering questions. I really get fired up having conversation with you guys. And really, when we get on those Zoom calls where I can see your face and we can talk like regular people, that's what we do in the boot camp. So definitely check out boot camp. See if it's something you want to do. If you definitely, if you want help, there's the link again at the bottom. If you want help going through this process with these questions you ask and, just taking it to another level, definitely check out the boot camp. If you need help getting your first bid done and everything that entails all of that, definitely come join us in the boot camp as well. We get a little more personal interaction and I get to learn a little bit more about your business, because we spend time one-on-one, but in a group setting, conversating about you and your business. So when it's your time, we're focused on you and your business, and everybody gets to listen. They can ask questions. And if they know something, they can definitely chime in and share some feedback as well. All right. Ernest says you have many of us heated up. Good, 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 good. Now I hope you're taking action too. So I don't want to just heat you up and you don't go anywhere and do anything. I want you to take action. And so I try to share things with you where you can take a nugget and implement. Okay. If it's just one nugget, maybe you get a whole bunch of nuggets. And if you do, still break it down into bite-sized pieces, take baby steps, take a nugget, implement, take a nugget, implement. Okay. So I don't want to overwhelm you either. He says, ha ha. No, I'm serious. Because a lot of times on my private session calls with my clients, I'll say, okay, you have any other questions? And they're like, no, that's enough. I say, yeah, I can give you a lot, in a short period of time. So if we talked for an hour, 2 hours, it would be overwhelming because it's just so much I could share with you in that time. So definitely check out the boot camp. I look forward to having as many of you that can get in, join us. Again, the spots are almost full. I do know that. And if not, you can always join us for the next session. Still, you can grab the content, get started on that. And then, I'm here on Tuesdays doing a live at lunchtime. And then on Thursdays, I always drop a new video, unless it's a holiday or something like that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so that you get notified when we go live. Okay. Ernest says, before you go, talk a little bit about your private sessions. So one, the information is all on the website, and I'm gonna put the link here. You can go check it out if you want to. In the private sessions, we work to, and I'm thinking you mean the private one-on-one? Probably. Because in the boot camp, there's an option where you can bump up to VIP and have 2 private calls with me. And really it's to help set the foundation for the boot camp and your action steps and things that you're going to take. But I also answer any questions that you have. Like if you have, like one client is doing a walkthrough tomorrow and she wasn't sure she should go. So I helped her create a strategy. Yes, you're going and here's what you're going to do. And then let me know how it turns out next week, that kind of thing. Okay, so Ernest is talking about the one-on-one. So the one-on-one, we work together for a period of 90 days. And I meet you right where you're at because it's private one-on-one. So depending on you and where you're at, the objective is customized to you. Most people are coming because they want to learn how to bid, write their proposals, things like that. And they want to have me around for a period of time while they go through that process so that I can go through it with them on an individual basis of them actually bidding opportunities and have that second set of eyes on it, making sure they haven't left anything out and really teaching you along the way. And so a lot of people like that over a 90-day period. What else? I mean, that's the gist of it, is really we're bidding opportunities. That's the goal. We're just bidding opportunities, you know, find them, bid them, the ones that make sense. A lot of times they may have deals come up where they need to negotiate. So I help them with negotiating deals. I don't go negotiate for them, but I help them in the negotiation process behind the doors and things like that. So anything government contracting, we cover that. I make sure, just depending on where you're at, I have 5 P's that we may focus on. One is positioning. The other one is profits. The other one is partnering, producing, being able to deliver on your promise, and pacing. And so we cover those things, and just whatever you need, whatever deficiencies you may have between where you are and bidding and winning contracts, we try to fill those gaps. And so again, that's a customized plan. It does fall within the 5 P's, just depending on what it is that they're missing. So if you're interested in the private one-on-one, someone rung my doorbell. That's my dog. So I'm Scruffy. So here's the link to the one-on-one. Okay. And you can definitely check it out. I don't know how many spots I have, because I only take a few clients in my private one-on-one because it's intensive. Like, I'm there with you for real for 90 days. So you can definitely check that out. All right. So, yep, we're over an hour, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day this evening to come join us. Definitely, come back, hang with us when we come live, or, when we drop the videos on Thursday. I love to open it up for Q&A and have a dialogue with you guys versus me just talking. So I always open it up for Q&A when I come live. Definitely check out the boot camp, see if it's something you want to partake, if you're ready to, get some government contracts. And here's the thing: if you don't want to be on the sidelines when things open all the way back up, then right now is the time to start learning and get your processes in place. Learn how to bid the opportunities. Although, as I told you, someone won a contract today, or I'm sorry, not today, but last week, we talked about it today. So they're still awarding contracts even now. So don't think that the government is not. The government never shut down. Okay. Other companies might shut down, but the government doesn't shut down. So just depending on where you want to be on, on either side of this thing. Okay. So that's it. I'm going to let you guys go to enjoy your dinner, because it's 6 o'clock here in Texas. So all my Texas people we have over there, I'm hungry. I don't know about yours, but I'm going to have me some dinner. All right. So until next time, I'll see you guys right back here real soon. Bye for now. Sure, yes.